I had lunch with one of my friends the other day who is also a business owner. And so we chatted a lot about business owner things. And we're going to talk about it in this episode. Maybe you will be able to relate to some of these, maybe not. Maybe you will soon. It's going to be a hoot. Stay tuned. What's up, magical human? Hey, if you're like me and you want to create a bigger impact on the world, why not share your knowledge and talents with others? Welcome to the podcast where I share marketing strategies, product creation tips, and real life stories of how women all over the world are using their knowledge and creativity to build a life and business they love on their terms. I'll share with you over a decade of knowledge and show you how you can take what you already know and do and package it into a digital product like a course, membership site, or digital download that sells globally. I'm Amy Jo, and you're listening to the Digital Magic Podcast. Hey friend, how's your coffee today? How's your tea? How is your sip of water? I hope you're staying hydrated. That's very important as a business owner and a human to keep yourself alive. Anyways, welcome back to this episode. I have so much to tell you today because I had a great chat with a fellow business owner. And honestly, my husband and I chat about this pretty much every day as far as business life, running a business, how are we doing this thing. And if you don't know, my husband and his brother are running the family business right now. And there's just so much that goes on as a business owner that people just in general who have either not like gone down the entrepreneurial road or they're just starting or they're I don't know. There's just a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So I thought we would talk about it today. Does that sound good? So, I met up with one of my friends, like I mentioned earlier, and it was actually Kelsie Johnson. She's been on the show before. We talked about her DJ business. She, again, was nominated for DJ of the Year in our city, which is very exciting. Go, Kelsie, if you're listening to this. And it's just so fun just to see everything that she's doing and honestly to like watch her go down the entrepreneurial journey as someone who's been going down it for a long time since birth, really, over here. Anyways, so we're getting our tacos, we're chatting, and she's like, Amy, this is actually like really hard. I'm like, I know. She's like, no, really. And she's like, I have to implement all of this new stuff in order to like protect myself and my business. And, she's learned a lot. She's had her business, I think, for almost a year or just over a year. And she's just learned so much in her first year. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But one of the things that we and my husband, all of us, and probably you have thought this as well, is that it's just 24/7. Like there's always something popping up. There's always either an idea, like it's really exciting stuff of like, you know, several months ago, I had an idea of a product that I wanted to launch, and I pulled an all-nighter, which I haven't done in a really long time, and I don't regret it, but it was interesting. I was just on a roll, and I was creating this product, and before I knew it, it was 5 a.m., and there we were. And sometimes you're just on, a really exciting roll like that where you don't wanna turn off. You wanna just go, 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 go and either make the thing or you're just working in your business and it's really exciting. And other times you want a break but you can't get one because you either have client stuff popping up or you have links that broke on your website or this funnel's not converting or you haven't gotten a new client in x amount of time and there's just things that are constantly fires that you have to put out here and there and it can just feel like what am I doing? Like why did I trade up a 9 to 5 for a 24/7 365, And this is something that I've really struggled with really for the longest time because I do throw myself into my work a lot because I see it as like an outlet, probably in a good and a bad way, but I see it as an outlet. I see it as something that I can just throw myself in and I have a really hard time with boundaries and I have a really hard time saying no still. So that's something that I've really been working on this year. Really after I hit the burnout wall, which we already talked about that a couple episodes back, but we don't need to get into that again. But it's just really hard sometimes to keep those boundaries and to have those boundaries, especially when you have life stuff happening, you have husband stuff, you have kids stuff, you have friends stuff, you have to balance family stuff, work stuff, this, that, that. It's just a lot. And so that can weigh on a lot of people where it's just like, man, this is 24/7. Sometimes it would be really nice to just leave a job at 5 p.m. and just go live my life and not take things home at night or on the weekends or always be on call and things like that. So that's something that we chatted about. And if you're feeling like that or you've been in that, I just want to remind you boundaries are magical and the world is not going to burn down because you didn't check your email for 3 hours. It's okay. We can put in healthy boundaries for ourselves because our mental health is really important. And something else with this as well that we talked about at our dinner chat was that even though we are business owners, sometimes we do work with clients who maybe don't see us as business owners. They see us as assistants or hired help or things like that. And we have to remind ourselves that, like, no, we are a business owner as well. And so something that we can start putting into place is contracts and terms that we work on. So these are our terms, these are our services. And if you, as another business owner or client or customer, whoever, do not agree on this, then maybe we're not a great fit and that's okay. And you can go work with somebody else. And so that was something that Kelsie brought up as well, is she's like, I'm implementing contracts to all of these, businesses that I'm hosting karaoke at because I have to. I have to protect myself. She went to one I don't know when this was recently where her microphone got broken and that's a whole out of pocket expense that she has to have, that she had to cover. And so part of her contract now that she's implementing is that if anything breaks at your show, if you all break something, you have to cover it. You have to pay for it. And so, having things like that in place as far as contracts and how close to showtime can someone cancel? Because it's not fair to her if someone cancels 20 minutes before a show, she doesn't get paid that night. You know what I mean? So that was a big thing and a big realization that she has had as far as getting contracts in place, having people sign contracts so that she's protected, but also the business owner is protected as well. It's something super, super important. And I think all of this stuff is just you kind of learn as you go, especially when you're in your first year, your first few months, even the first 5 years, everything is just learning. And sometimes, like, we had a situation where that happened at Caleb's work where he came home, he's like, I've never dealt with that before. This is wild. And he's been there for 13 years. I think, something like that. A long time. He's like, I don't even know how to manage this. I don't even know how to deal with this. Like, there's stuff that pops up all the time, and there's stuff that's really going to bend you as a business owner or a manager or, someone who's in a position of running a company. It's hard. Sometimes these decisions are really hard, and sometimes you're not going to know what decision to make, and sometimes you're going to make the wrong one and you're going to have to live with it. And you're going to have to be like, maybe that wasn't the right decision. You're going to have to move forward and move on and tweak as you go. But everything that happens, every lesson is a learned lesson. It's not that you failed, it's not that you did anything wrong. It's just you're learning as you're moving forward. And learning is hard. It's really tricky. We want to hop into entrepreneurship and just be like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, let's go. And then you don't think you're going to have any mountains or boulders or anything to push out of your way. And it's so not true. You're going to get new stuff all the time. There's stuff that still happens in my business. So I'm just like, I don't even know what to do about this. Okay, so number 4, I think that's like 3 different things we've talked about. Here's number 4 is when you're going into entrepreneurship and you're starting this new venture, this new journey, and I see this all the time too, is taxes. What are y'all doing with your taxes? Are you paying them? I hope so. Very important. Please pay your taxes. I see this all the time as far as people who, let's say they join the creator fund or they start getting paid affiliate fee or commissions or whatever, or they join the creator fund on like TikTok or something, they're making all this money and they're buying all this stuff, but they're not saving anything for taxes because at the end of the day, y'all got to pay your taxes and you got to do it right. Otherwise, you're gonna get in trouble. You're not gonna be happy when they come knocking a few years down the road and they're like, hey, by the way, you haven't paid taxes in 3 years. What are you doing? And then you owe a lot of money. So that's something that you want to stay on top of from day one. I have personally called the IRS multiple times to be like, am I okay? Am I doing this right? Are we okay? This is how I'm doing this. And just to be sure that I'm doing it correctly, you can get a tax person, you can do TurboTax, you can do H&R Block, whatever, QuickBooks to help you out. There's lots of options out there, but you want to stay on top of it. Now, just like with any business, really anything in the world, to be honest, but just like with any business, there's going to be slow times, there's going to be fast times, there's going to be in the middle times. And that's something that you have to be prepared for just across the board. And this is honestly not even just an entrepreneurial lesson, it's a life lesson because things are gonna happen. Life's gonna be lifing. And y'all know the last year, life has been lifing. And we found ourselves with a ton of medical stuff over the last year. And when I looked at how much our insurances had been billed as far as medical stuff, it was $250,000, which I think that is absolutely crazy. That's a whole nother thing. But life happens and you have to be prepared for it. And so, if I always like personally to have a plan B. So if I or something happens to my husband and he can't work for several days or weeks or months, or there's something happened to me and we need, extra support where, we always like to have a nest egg and we also always like to have ways that we can generate money quickly at any time because we never know when things are going to happen. And so you have to be prepared in life for the ebbs and the flows. So hopefully our ebbs are about over, at least for now, and we can start flowing, at least over here. But you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared and you got to not freak out. And so, what I like to do personally is I like to save, save, save. I save and I invest. I save and I invest. And that is kind of like my main things. That way I know that I have nest eggs in case anything happens, in case my client pool dries up, in case I need to take a long vacation. I have money to take a long vacation, but I like to have a lot of reserves that I can pull from at any time. Or if I want to try a new venture, if I want to try, if I want to try creating new things that don't even have anything to do with my online business, I want to have stuff in place where I can do that. I want to have money that I can grab. And it was, let's see, it was Black Friday last year where I had saved a lot of money. Just, I didn't spend any of it. All the money I put into my business bank account, and I only took out little things here and there. And I splurged a little bit and I bought a laser machine because it's something I've been wanting for like 2 years. And I bought it last year and it was so cool because I got to do that. But all of that to say, when the ebbs are there, you wanna make sure that you have reserves that you can pull from. And the last few things that I want to talk about on this little episode is that and something that we had talked about at dinner, Kelsie and I, was that a lot of times a lot of people don't get it. And you might not be taken serious. And you might have people do their one-off comments about like what you're doing, what you're building, how you're running your business. People are going to say stuff. People are going to run their mouth. And some people are going to see you as like not serious. Oh, you're doing this cute little thing. And I know I got a ton of comments about when I started my first business, when I started this business actually. And I got comments about, well, at least Caleb has a good job and you can do that. It's like no one took me serious that I could make any money doing anything. And it was so hurtful. And just that people wouldn't take me seriously and would just question me and question what I could do in general. And sometimes people will just say stuff and they won't even think about how it comes out. But I just remember thinking, hearing comments like that, or like getting laughed at, like, haha, good luck, or haha, starving artist, or, just random different things. And people just don't think when they talk. And it doesn't bother me now because I know what I've done and I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm building and I know what I've built. And no one can take that away. And that's fine. And if they actually cared and they actually wanted to know what I was doing, or, one, they could look at my website. Two, they could listen to any of my 142 or 43 podcast episodes I've done so far. They could look at children's books that I've written. They could look at all of the results or testimonials that I've done as far as people that I've worked with, 6 and 7 figure business owners, authors, coaches, celebrity clients. Like there's a lot going on, okay? I do things, but I don't have to justify that to anybody. You know? So people are going to run their mouth. And that's what we talked about is like sometimes people aren't going to get it. They're not going to understand. They're going to say these one off comments that are going to hurt. And you're just going to keep building. You're just going to move forward. And that's what you're going to do because you're listening to this episode. And I believe in you and you believe in yourself, right? And at the end of the day, even after going through all of this stuff and people saying their things, and it is hard and there are taxes and it is 24/7 and there are, contracts and stuff that we have to do to protect ourselves, at the end of the day, I don't want to work for anybody else and you probably don't either. And that's why you're here doing what you're doing, or you're getting ready to do what you want to do so that you can build a life that you actually love living in a way that you actually want to do it. That to me is the real rich. Is can you build a life that you enjoy living where at the end of the day, when your time is almost up on this earth, you can lay there and be like, I did it. I got the most out of what I wanted to do. And honestly, I fear that a lot of us are going to be like, man, I missed the whole point. I missed the whole point of what I was supposed to do here on planet Earth because I was so distracted with this or that or whatever, or I was so scared to try anything, or I didn't have the confidence to do this or that, or I was worried what people were going to think if I tried to build my own business, or if I tried to get that promotion, or if I tried to do this or that, if I tried to build my social media following. I think I try to remind myself at the end of the day, like, am I going to be proud with what I have created? And that's what I try to work for every single day. Every day. Am I going to be proud of the things that I have created? What are some things that I can create before my time is up? I know it's a little it's a little grim sometimes maybe to like think that way, but for me it's a motivation because I want to leave like good creative things on this earth when it's my time to go. So, anyways, if you are a business owner and you resonated with any of this, I just want you to know you're in good company. We hear you. My husband and I talk about this all the time as well. We get it. And at the end of the day, just think about your values, your morals, what you're wanting to create, and how you can impact others. That's the biggest thing. Okay. So I hope this episode was helpful, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good week. Bye. Aw man, this episode's over, but that's okay. You can come hang out in the Digital Product Female Entrepreneurs Facebook group, hang out with thousands of us making digital products, creating awesome, cool things, and selling them to the world. Come get inspired, come hang out with us. There's thousands of us there, and we cannot wait to support you. Now, if you need some ideas on digital products that you can create and sell, go to herownmagic.com and download my freebie. It's 65 digital products you can create and sell by this weekend. It is waiting for you there. Go check it out. And you have an amazing week. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time. Go create your own magic.